This is probably the most obvious case of Dream cheating at something that
In
we've seen.
MCC 11, it is very blatant that
He hits the wall, it auto jumps, he toggles it off, then he finally runs off of him.
We need to talk about Dream because over the last couple of weeks, some of his clips, both old and new, have resurfaced. One of them being a now 6-year-old clip from Minecraft Championship, the biggest Minecraft tournament of all time. And everyone seems to be thinking the same exact thing. He was cheating in all of them. But are they substantiated? Is there any undeniable proof that he was in fact cheating? Or can they be disproven and written off? That is exactly what I wanted to find out. And I think the best place to start is with the clip everyone is currently talking about. Dream's MCC 11 Parkour Warrior Run. This is Parkour Warrior, Game 7 of the 11th Minecraft Championship, and although this event took place in October of 2020, it wouldn't be until this past week when the Twitter user by the name of 70Luna noticed what you're about to watch. But first, let me give you some context. In Minecraft Parkour, the most common cheat, the same one Dream is being accused of, involves using a macro. And what this macro allows you to do is give you the best possible chance of making any jump you attempt by auto-jumping at the last possible second. And with that in mind, let's review all the clips where people believe the macro is the most obvious. Just 30 seconds into his run, he jumps at the last possible second for a 2-1. I want to make it very clear that this clip alone does not prove anything, and instead, the run in its entirety faces some very similar scenarios, which end up becoming so common that with each time it happens, it becomes more and more unlikely that they were performed by a human in this exact sequence. This next clip is a perfect example. Nearly 3 minutes into the same run, Dream is about to jump on a slime block, so he's going to collide with the slime, bounce back up, and continue the run, right? No. Instead of what you think would happen, Dream hits the edge of the slime block and immediately jumps off. To understand why this is so incriminating, pressing W and going forward gives you the highest jump possible, which is the one you need to make to complete the jump in this course. Holding the spacebar cancels it out completely. Sandwich Lord, a player that would eventually beat his record, explains the scenario way better than I could.
In quotation marks, a supposed parkour pro, he should know that you're not meant to hold space on slime. What would have happened is he would have just hit the slime and walked off. But no, he hits the edge of the slime and then jumps off of it. Why would anyone in their right mind do that?
Now, this next clip I'm about to show you is associated with a Twitter clip that went on to get 20,000 likes and went completely viral on the platform. If you heard about the situation before clicking on this video, chances are this looks very familiar to you.
Wait. So, he hits the wall, it auto jumps, he toggles it off, then he finally runs off of momentum for the first time in the whole game. Oh my god. Oh, it's so blatant.
When Dream jumps around these glass panes, that cobblestone wall that you see right here plays a big part in piecing together this puzzle. When Dream collides with this cobblestone wall, he performs another jump when he could have simply walked across. Why does he do this? Well, once again, Sandwich Lord might have an explanation.
When he collides with this wall, it interferes with his macro and his macro jumps. Notice how he jumps perfectly after he gets around the wall and he gets like the full momentum jump. He doesn't hit the wall whatsoever. This is the part where actually Dream turns off his macro because he notices that's wrong, right? I want you to count how many jumps he successfully lands once his macro is turned off. 1. Oh, and it's gone. Immediately it's gone.
It's also important to note that after this tournament, Dream on the same course adapted and later found a different way to do the same jump. If he was really macroing, his macro would no longer toggle here, which in this case would make his macro null and void. However, the most incriminating clip in my opinion is the clip you're watching right here.
Let's go!
Salmon ladders aren't exactly the hardest jump in the world, especially for the top or above average parkourists, some of them being in this exact tournament. This does not excuse the fact that Dream completed 16 salmon ladders in a row. I don't have a clip of any parkour experts explaining what you see here in a more clear way, only because I think this clip speaks for itself. So much so that when Dream uploaded a hand cam in an attempt to debunk this claim earlier this week, he failed those same salmon ladders 3 times, including the very first jump. Now, I want to make 2 things very clear here. Even if Dream was completely innocent in this case, meaning no macros, no toggling, and no cheating of the sort, this is simply not a good response video. This was a tournament from 6 years ago, and yes, he is playing on the same course, but on a different version because it has been over half a decade since, and with all of that time comes all of the parkour progression and skill anyone would gain over that time. Dream, you may very well not be cheating, but your gameplay of today does not prove your innocence of the past. especially when this video of you exists. This is a video from Twitter user DiscoBobulator, and although it is very important to note that this video was uploaded in 2023, 3 years after the fact, it's quite literally the most clear proof that Dream was in fact macroing. And that brings me to my second point, which is the fact that we have been in the same exact scenario before. I feel like now is an important time to note, and I can't believe no one is talking about this, is the last time Dream was 100% confirmed to be cheating, he was never caught explicitly or with any hard evidence. We have never seen any hack client, we have never seen any modified game code. He was instead caught because of odds so improbable that they were ruled by the entire Minecraft speedrunning community to be
just miles above anything remotely comparable or even reasonable, assuming his rates are the vanilla values.
The same scenario is quite literally happening here. And for those who don't remember what I am referring to, I am of course talking about Dream's speedrunning scandal, which just so happened to occur 2 months after these parkour clips were taken. And we only know this is true because he confessed to it. Now in the scandal, Dream also confessed that this was a mod initially made for his Manhunt series, and that this mod was created by a hired developer to help with coding mods for videos. But what if I told you that wasn't the only instance of Dream cheating in MCC? What if I told you that in the very next installment of the tournament, Dream was using blatant Elytra cheats, this time in a different game mode, to once again cheat and win? Get ready for what you're about to watch, because the Dream from half a decade ago is about to set a record 1 second faster than the world record that stands today. For comparison to what a normal run should look like, let's put a similar time run next to Dream's. Both of these clips can, once again, be found on 70 Luna's Twitter account. Watching these two videos side by side, it is clear that the runner on the right has, for right now, a clear advantage and the faster start, clearing this waterfall 17 frames, or over half a second faster than Dream does. Being so early on into the video, nothing points to Dream using any type of cheat or game manipulation so far. But let's keep watching. For this part of the map, keep your attention on this waterfall. We are about 5 seconds into this run, and our runner on the right has fully cleared it, while Dream hasn't even gotten to the top of where the water starts. Even though it may very well be possible that these two are using two different FOVs, it is absolutely clear that the runner in our right is in the lead by 29 frames, which is almost a full second. That lead becomes 30 frames, or 1 full second, right next to these dual pipes. At this point of the video, everything is going according to plan. There is no game manipulation of any sort taking place here. But that is about to change, and what you're about to watch should absolutely, by no circumstance, be possible in vanilla Minecraft. None of these videos were sped up in any way, and there will be a link in the description to both clips where you can verify this. Now take a close look at what happens next. And just like that, Dream takes the lead over the runner on the right hand side, right at this frame. He never loses it after. Looking at both POVs, I could not find one that matches the same type of speed boost that Dream gets 10 seconds into his run. And what makes this fact even more unlikely is this clip of Dream passing another competitor, gaining speed while simultaneously zigzagging. There's not much more to say on these Elytra clips, and there may or may not be more instances of cheating in MTC on Dream's end. I genuinely have no idea, but I think it's fair that we leave it here. Surprisingly, those are not the only cheating allegations that Dream has caught in the past 50 or so days since the year has started. Around 2 weeks ago, I uploaded a video entitled How Dream Cheated in PvP and against Technoblade, the latter half of that title referring to Dream's $100,000 duel with Technoblade. The rest of this video is heavily based on the information in this video, and Glestic's channel can be found in the description. Cheating in a 100,000 duel is the most gummy thing that you can do in any competitive setting, so let's find out what made him and so many others come to the same conclusion. To understand these allegations, we first have to understand what a microtrack is. This is the foundation of Dream's cheating allegations in PvP, including its alleged use in his $100,000 duel with Techno. In short, a microtrack is a sequence of movements in the same or similar spot on another player relative to their movement, like shown here. Now here's an excerpt from Glektic's video that I'll be voicing over. I will not stop to explain any of these for the sole reason that there are so many instances of it happening like shown here, and it is practically the same function every time. Now, similar to the parkour allegations, one microtrack is not definitive cheating. It is when it is done so often by the same person so many times that it would be highly improbable to have been done without cheating or game manipulation. Now, for the exact cheats that he would be using, the two most probable here would be aim assist and aimbot, in which the first, aim assist, generally manipulates your screen to hover over the player, whereas aimbot locks onto that said player immediately. In my opinion, there's absolutely no defending this. There is no glide, no hover, not even a flick. His screen snaps directly onto the target in both clips shown right here. Even Dream was forced to respond to clips like these, which we'll be talking about in just a minute. And in case you're wondering, no, Glestic was not the only one to have caught this. Another small YouTuber by the name of Dropkey saw the same thing and uploaded his video on January 24th with his findings. This is the video that Dream would respond to. Let's read it together. I'm going to start at the second paragraph, but the entire comment is on screen if you want to read the first. In this comment, Dream says, there was a 1 week period in mid-December where I was using obscure ways to practice after getting my cast off. That would definitely look weird to someone spectating, or in this case, in the initial revival videos, including in the Raptor fight, which was a random cue at 3 AM he uploaded that looked like it was a tier test. There's plenty of clips cut out of the revival video where I was clicking to hit a mob or the player and just did not swing at all due to a bug with my practice mod. This is the first mention of Dream using some PvP related mod to help with his game. The fact of the matter is that anything that gives you an advantage over your opponent is, I'd hope in most people's eyes, cheating. And this seems to be the Dream playbook for whenever he gets called out. The speedrunning scandal wasn't cheating, it was simply a mod I forgot to remove. This isn't closet cheating, I was simply using a mod to practice PvP and circumnavigate my entry. What do you want me to do, hurt myself again, make my injury worse? Look, I wasn't cheating in MTC, he was a hand cam. 6 years later, Dream's strategy for whenever he's called out is, seemingly, to just minimize the situation and make it look like there is no malicious intent. Maybe that is true, maybe it is not, but the fact is that all of the clips mentioned before and after this part of the video were manipulated in some way. Whether we have sufficient evidence, or we know this by looking at incredibly impossible odds. Dream was using some sort of game manipulation to improve his chances and to look better than he was. This includes his $100,000 duel with Technoblade, which also allegedly involves microtracking, albeit at a much weaker strength. Here's what our good friend Glestic has to say about the situation.
Now, before I begin, I want to say straightforwardly that Dream cheated in this duel. Now, I do not care if the evidence is not concrete in the eyes of the community, I do not care if people do or do not take my word, and I certainly do not care to be convinced otherwise.
And so with that extremely bold claim, let's find out how he came to this conclusion, starting with this first clip from the second 1.8 duel. When after the exchange fishing rod hits, Technoblade starts to jump and Dream's crosshair seemingly, unnaturally, locks onto Techno's feet. Just in case you didn't catch that, here it is one more time in slow motion. For this second clip, I'll let Glestic explain it for himself.
What you want to look for is a micro track as well as a trajectory change. They're both hitting each other right now, and you can see about right here, a micro track starts to occur. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so about 16 frames we see a micro track, but watch what happens right here. This is the most obvious in my opinion. So you can see that Techno starts to move a bit back, and look what happens to Dream's crosshair. You can see that Dream is now trying to look down. So we see that after in 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see that Dream is trying to put his camera angle down, and watch what happens. As soon as we get to Techno's feet, we randomly see, look at this, we get to Techno's feet, and then all of a sudden the crosshair stops, and then it starts moving back up. Right here, you can see that his crosshair is now locked onto Technoblade, and you can see that the micro track or aim assist is preventing him from leaving the person's hitboxes.
There are many more instances of this happening in the same duel that I will not cover, but they all revolve around micro-tracking and tracking Technoblade's character in general. And in all honesty, if I were Dream, I have no idea how I would defend myself. It looks to me that in all of these clips shown here today, Dream was using some type of mod or hack, but the fact of the matter is that anything that alters the game in favor of you, especially in the competitive setting, that is cheating.